Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to a video here for the latest SHF Figuarts release for Hunter. This is gone. Now first off, I do apologise if the audio is a little bit out of sync with the actions on screen. I might have filmed this whole review with the audio off, so I am doing a voiceover now. Hopefully I will align it, close enough at least to how it should be. But anyway, straight into the video. I know a lot of people are really excited about this release because Hunter people have been asking for it for years, and there's actually nothing going on at the moment to tie in with the series, so it is a bit of a random release in that regard, because most of the time we get a new line that ties in with maybe a new series or some big announcement, right? But I guess since they know how many people want the Hunter line, they have dived in, and we have gone now, and Killer is coming next month. And then hopefully we'll get a nice stream of new announcements as well, because that would be fantastic, because definitely a lot of characters for this line that I would love to get my hands on. Now coming over to the box itself, as we can see here on the back, we had a nice selection of images showcasing the figure. On the front as well, that gone with that fist effect is looking really impactful. And the base art of the box is pretty basic compared to a lot of the other lines, although it seems like we do have a map on the in the background there, showcasing the different areas. So I'm wondering if that will change or shift around depending on the character to try and tie in with maybe the scene where that character was most active. Like for example, Kurapika, we don't really see him in a lot of the arcs as well. So yeah, we kind of keen, or I'm quite curious to see how they'll handle the box design going forward. But yeah, overall, looking forward to showcasing or showing you all the details of this figure, because so far it is such a good, fun figure to play with, and they're definitely starting the Hunter line off very strong. Okay, so we have gone here in the centre with 4 additional face plates. A great section of normal looking forward, looking to the side, teeth gritting, the cheeky tongue poking out, and a big smile, which is great to see. We also get the 2 effects, one for his fist for his Jajumken, and then also for the scissor attack as well. So it's nice to see, and along with that we do have a couple of pairs of hands. No, I have obviously didn't close the packaging correctly before, so one is loose, but we'll give the peace sign, the finger spread, the gripping ones, and the ones for the attack for his Jajumken when he does the scissors. And we also get an additional left hand to hold onto his arm. Okay, so we have him on the turntable now in this simple walking pose, because yeah, gone is jolly, right? But looking at the detail, really nice. All the detailing is crisp and clean. The red, the black on his top, and even on the belt we've got the green straps on his pants that is overlapping the belt as well. So crisp and clean there. We also get some sculpting on the back of his jacket, shorts, and even the boots, which is nice. So despite it being one solid piece of plastic, they have put in that sculpt there to give the look of the clothing, so that is working really good so far. The colour separation of the boots, the shoes, soles is nice as well. Skin tones is looking good, and on top of that, even though the plastic is just the base colour for the green, it's slightly rubber, or like a softer texture, so it kind of has a nice finish to it despite being base plastic, but it's a little bit matte compared to some of the other harder materials, right? So it doesn't really have that real super shine or gleam to it. It does kind of flow nicely with the overall figure. So moving over to the articulation, the head feels very fluid. We've got the tilt motion, looking forward is good, and looking back extremely well. And now coming over to the shoulder joints, even without swiveling around, he can lift up in quite a natural direction, and then if you swivel around you can get up all the way, which is nice. So yeah, as you can see, the motion there is good, and going back, and then the joint itself feels very fluid while moving. It does have a butterfly joint, and depending on the direction of the peg inside, maybe a little bit fiddly, so you have to adjust it around and get the inner rubber shell part to go underneath his body, and then you can twist his arms all the way forward, which is good. Everything does feel nice and fluid, and if you want more motion you can use the elbow joint, which is double jointed there, and it can swing all the way around and touch his other shoulder. We also get the bicep swivel, and as we saw, the double jointed elbow gives a great range of motion. The peg as well on the wrist is nice, it will move around, although depending on the angle it may hit the outer rim of his clothing and kind of cause a little bit of a hindrance there. But coming around to the front, his jumper is a soft rubber which can flex and bend out of the way, that we don't have any hard sculpting lines or anything there. But when you push him forward, he does get decent range of motion, especially compared to a lot of other figures with a similar design without that articulation built into the outside design. Going back is good, does open up a little bit of a gap though. You can kind of try and pull it up. I haven't noticed it to stretch out further, but you can kind of push him decently far, and the flexibility in the jumper does help with the motion. And you can also push his leg up around even further to kind of get more of a range, or the appearance of more range in there as well, which is nice. So I think most poses you should be able to pull off even without that built-in sculpting in the center there. Okay, now coming over to the legs, you can do the splits without any issue, absolutely fantastic. The leg going forward, it can swivel up high and it can pop out a little bit further to get even more range if you need. Going back is fantastic, which is quite surprising since a lot of figures cannot get this far back. So a normal figure would probably be about this far, give or take, and that is due to the butt flaps on the back, where this one has actually sculpted really well. It curves in, which allows for all of that motion going back. So it's really nice to see on this figure. You do get a bit of a the gap on the front joint which sticks out, but depending on what pose you're going for, that will be a non-issue anyway. And just getting this extra range of motion back is great, especially since Gon does some pretty dynamic poses. And to help facilitate that more, underneath his shorts, you actually get another point of articulation where the leg will move. You can go back and forth, as well as to the side, and you can move on that point. So it is really nice to see. It definitely makes it a lot nicer for posing, especially when you put the leg back. Instead of being kind of stuck there, you can tilt up in the thigh to get back even further, which works really good with that double jointed knee to give a real fluid motion going all the way back. I think this is definitely something that the One Piece line would have loved to have seen with the earlier Luffy figures, right? Just because it's a pretty ingenious way of handling it. I would have thought we would have a point of articulation for the shin to the boot, but it's actually fixed in place and it won't move. A little bit surprising, because I thought we've got nice motion there, but I guess since we have it on the upper thigh and it's quite close, it isn't really needed. I haven't felt like I've needed it so far, but I don't know, it's just something that I was expecting. But coming down to the ankle, huge peg, we get a decent range of motion. At first I didn't think it would go back too far, but if you push it, you can actually get a huge range of motion going back on that boot, which is great. Going forward though, the lace part will hit and that will kind of stop it, but going back we get a fantastic range of motion. And due to the peg, we also get some pivot on that same peg in there, which is quite nice, as well as the usual toe tip range of motion. So coming over to the faces, great range of faces, the base neutral look, they're looking off to the side one, but it's huge smile, the cheeky tongue poking out, absolutely fantastic, as well as that teeth gritting face, great emotion coming through, all the detailing and sculpting is nice, the face mates are easy to switch on and off, the front here and the face plate will pop off, and you can easily change between them without any issue. The cheeky tongue poking face for me, it does have a little bit of a mark on the white of the left eye. Not a huge issue if you're looking at a normal distance. Up close you will notice it though. So I don't think it's really an issue probably throughout all figures. It's probably just, a random mark that's appeared on my one. Okay, so I've got Gon here in a simple pose doing his Jachanken, charging it up. That fist effect is looking extremely good with the spikes, the colours, and it's easy to use. As you can see here, it just pops over the fist. So easy to put on and off, which is nice. And then all of the articulation in this figure as well means you can easily pose in there and balance him on his own 2 feet. And that side looking face pairs beautifully with this as well. And then as we can see, the articulation both for arms and legs lends itself wonderfully with this effect to kind of do his iconic signature move. Speaking of signature move, we also have the other variation, which I don't want to spoil too much, but there's rock, paper, scissors section. This is the scissors one and works in the exact same way where it slots over his hand, and it's really cool because you can actually see his hand through the effect. So that is really nice. We don't just have like a nub in there or just a peg. You can see his full hand, and then here's the other hand which will hold onto his arm to finish the look. and that articulation with his legs being able to go way back makes this whole pose possible. So that whole range of articulation in the legs of this figure is definitely a huge selling point to allow you to do dynamic poses which look pretty natural actually. So far loving the playability and what this figure can provide to us so far. Okay, next up I tried to recreate an iconic pose, obviously not the quite right design since it's from a different arc. I won't spoil it for those that haven't seen the series already, but yeah, it's pretty cool that he can sit down, lean forward. A little bit more range in his torso could have made it a little bit easier, or if I could have got his knee up a bit higher, but despite all that he can actually pull it off pretty well. Kind of need something to go behind to kind of pop him up a little bit I think, but I guess if you play around a bit more and tweak it here and there, I think you could get him into a really solid pose for the iconic scene where he is waiting, kind of begrudgingly so, right? But yeah, anyway, the angry face works well for this as well, so really nice to see some variety with this figure. Right, and up next we've got a bit of a cheeky one here, just a casual walk, showcasing that tongue poking out face, and he also has those peace hand fingers, one for both actually, and works really good. Now I do want to say, if you haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, I highly recommend it. It's one of those series that I never actually wanted to watch. My wife was wanting to watch the series, she had read all the manga, and I kind of, yeah, I'll watch it, and I gotta say, after a few episodes I was completely hooked, as I did not expect it, and yeah, I always recommend it for anime fans to check out. Okay, so this is a bit embarrassing. As I'm jumping into the final thoughts and size comparison, I just realized I had my mic off the whole time, so everything I've filmed so far has had no audio, so I'm gonna have to go back and redo that. So that's a little bit of a embarrassing behind the scenes moment there for you guys, but anyway, let's continue. I have gone here with Naruto, Ichigo, Vegeta and Goku for a bit of a size comparison. Definitely I would say the artistic design of Hunter x Hunter leads into quite a bit of a difference in proportions compared to the other figures. I feel like Hunter x Hunter is more in line with Dragon Ball. I think it's more of a generational thing, whereas obviously Naruto and Bleach were more of a never part of a new age of Jump, right, in the early 2000s. Definitely those two series are more aligned in terms of proportions, I'd say. I think that's definitely visible here in the figures. So gone slightly bigger overall than Naruto, and I think they're meant to be roughly around the same age at this point. But yeah, I think even despite that, if you're mixing and matching your lines, I think they'll look really cool on your display. I think I really need to pick up a Luffy now, so I can have a kind of a Jump All-Stars lineup, right? You've like Goku, Gon, Ichigo, I've got Yor from the Figma line, and from Shaman King, right? So that'd be really cool. Actually, it reminds me, I wonder if Figuarts will ever do a Shaman King SH.Figuarts line. I guess their chance would have been when they had the anime remake, so I don't think we'll get it, but it would be pretty cool. But anyway, let me jump into the pros and cons for this figure. Obviously the pros, the articulation is absolutely fantastic, especially in the leg and knee range. The fact you can move underneath the shorts is absolutely fantastic, and then for the shoulders, and everything looks smoothing, and basically all of his design flows well. The aesthetic and the articulation pair beautifully on this figure. The face plates are great, excellent range of expressions. I love the happy face. The cheeky tongue poking out one is another favourite of mine. We got the two different effects, which is easy to use since it slots on over the hands, and they look really good, so that is nice. This is quite thin and flexy as well, so do be careful if you have a position that might be bending or flexing. You may alter the shape slightly, so just keep that in mind in case you're storing it outside of the original packaging. Yeah, so obviously this is based on, I would say, midway through the anime, so therefore he doesn't come off for early stuff. Now I think that is a con. The backpack, fishing rod, the fact he doesn't come for those is a shame, especially since he is in his full green jumper design, which pairs beautifully with the backpack and fishing rod, especially from the start of the season, or the series, you know, with the Hunter exam and so forth, and that is when he meets Killer, right? But this is more past that, by the arc after that. I won't go into detail so I don't spoil anyone who might not have watched the series already. So that's a bit of a shame. So I'm hoping maybe we get those accessories with other characters. Perhaps it could be a good way to link it together, and maybe say Leorio or Kurapika. It could be an accessory that comes with those figures, right? Or even maybe Hisoka, right? With a badge. So that could be really cool. But it's a bit shame we didn't get it in this release. However, despite that, he is pretty stacked already, especially for a retail figure. So that is my only con. Not a huge one, but it is obviously worth mentioning, because I know probably a lot of people were a bit disappointed about that too. Now overall, fantastic start to the line. Can't wait to get Killer. I'm looking forward. Hopefully we get announcements for more releases. We definitely could have picked Leorio, and I really want Hisoka. We really need our pervy, creepy magician who is such a comedy relief in the series. I absolutely love that character itself. Always fun to watch his scenes, especially his interactions with Gon. So I'm hoping we get him. I think he could be a really fun Figuarts line. Yeah, I feel like he could be the Veritic Woody for the Tamashii Nations brand, right? The type of figure that you could use with any situation, any other line, mix it in for a good laugh, right? For some really good toy photography. So I'm hoping we get him with some really extreme faceplates. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, who do you want from this line, whichever characters, and yeah, do you want them to jump between the arcs, or do you want them to kind of start at the beginning and work through? How would you like to see Tamashii Nations handle this line going forward? But yeah, anyway, that is it for the video. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers!